Hello and welcome to Farmspace. We are in China. Okay, so drones. How far has it come? What has been the issues and so forth? How does these things fit into your value chain these days? I'm talking to Josh from Pegasus Robotics in the States. They are one of the suppliers there, and basically everything you need to know that has happened with drones and so forth, where it's going. Let's listen. Josh, how are you doing?
I'm great.
So, how's China?
China's been wonderful. The guys here at XAG have done a great job putting on the show. Really excited about the new products that's coming out.
No, I couldn't agree more. So tell me a little bit more about Pegasus Robotics. Hey, you guys are based in the States. Just give me a little bit of background about the business and what is it exactly that you do.
And so I'm the COO of Pegasus Robotics, and we started with the XAG brand almost 3 years ago, and we've been on the journey of introducing the XAG drone to the States, and we had to overcome a lot of challenges, and in the aspect of convincing farmers to switch from airplanes, helicopters to drones, or from their traditional ground rigs, and understand the benefits and the features that are offered from the drones, whether it's XAG or other brands. And we chose the XAG brand for a number of reasons, but that's been our journey so far. I mean, we're excited about this 150. We know what the abilities. We've already been able to test it for the last few weeks, and we can't wait to introduce it to the market probably in the next 30 days. So
that's going to be interesting, and I'm looking forward to see what you guys are doing basically with that. And but tell me a little bit more about because you're talking about farmers actually switching their current operations to drones. Okay, so my experience thus far was that a drone, as the perception was that it's only a niche market for smaller hectares first of all, and then acreages. You work most in acreages, but for smaller areas, and then also just for things like spot spraying or orchards or whatever the case might be. So how is it that you guys are applying it?
So we originally, and I will be honest, I was of the same mindset as you, that drones were for the small farmers. It was for those orchards. But as we actually started using the drones and started understanding the efficiency that could actually be achieved with drones, we've been really amazed. So we continue to find additional usage for the drones, and we use it today in row crops. And I started out actually with buying an XAG drone and for custom application on my own farm, and we farm about 2,000 acres, and in Southern Illinois is where I'm actually based out of. The very first year with my very first drone, I actually bought two of them. Me and my brother covered over 10,000 acres Yes, 10,000 acres in 30 days.
And that was like in 30 days?
In 30 days.
So knowing nothing, basically.
Knowing nothing. And starting from ground one, our goal, our very first year, was only 2,000 acres, and that was supposed to cover our own personal ground that we farm, but we actually went out and did custom application in our first year, and 10,000 acres is what we covered. We mainly focused on fungicide application on corn, but the following year we went into wheat, fungicide application, and now we're even doing, and we've expanded that business, and we do spraying, herbicide spraying in the spring, doing the complete burn down. And but what I've been amazed with is in 2 years we focused, 2 years ago everything was focused on fungicide application in the aerial, taking over for planes and helicopters, but we have now transitioned into focusing on so many other things, and there's so many other crops that are available that you can focus on. This year we broke into potatoes, and potatoes we spray 6 to 7 times in one season with fungicide or insecticide applications. So it's amazing what you can do with these products.
And then there's another thing which, I spoke to a drone operator in South Africa, and where I know that you guys have also built a proper trailer where you've got your mixing tanks and all of those things and the water and all of that.
Right.
And he was telling me that when he got that trailer, he was 30% more effective just by having that everything in there and making being able to just refill the drone quickly when it landed and so forth. So if you had to do that 10,000 acres now, it would maybe not take you 30 days, but 24 days or whatever.
Correct. So we went back. I mean, and the thing with the drone is you had to find equipment that was designed for drones. So Pegasus worked to build a trailer that was specifically designed. They partnered with a couple different companies, and now when the drone comes in, our goal is that the drone lands and you can fill the drone back up and it can take off in less than 60 seconds. Because the drone, especially these P100 Pros, they're averaging 1 acre in less than 50 seconds because it's moving at 32 miles an hour and on average spraying a 28-foot swath. So you can average, depending on what your field conditions are or what the size of your fields are, I've averaged as high as 60 acres an hour with one drone.
Okay, but how many liters are you then spraying?
So we normally, most aerial application is either 2 gallons or 3 gallons, which would be 7.8 liters per 7.6 to it'd be 7.8 to 8.6 liters per acre.
So plus minus 8 liters per acre times 2. So let's say 15 liters per hectare, okay. Plus minus, okay? Yeah, okay. So aerial applications where we're from basically go at 30 liters per. So you're looking at an aeroplane or they register at 30 liters per hectare. Do you then, when you spray that, do you spray inside of the label or is it outside of the label recommendations?
So we spray everything by label, and it is registered. And for we'll say you're 15 liters per hectare, and so yes, that is 100% legal. And here's the thing that we're finding, not from Pegasus, not from sorry, I hit the mic on you, but what we find is that we are actually finding that the drones perform better than planes or even ground rigs at their higher volume application, which has been a major hurdle. Because a lot of farmers were resistant, to make that change because they were worried less volume meant that they would get less, results. And we're finding the exact opposite. The concentration of the product on the plant, being at a higher level is giving us better results. And that's, being verified by the universities and by seed companies and chemical companies across the country right now.
That's really, really interesting. And at the end of the day, theoretically, because of and you're not the first person that has told me this, their personal experience is, I want to say the efficacy of the drone application is better than you get with just the aeroplane with the gravity sinking in, because you get that blowing action almost, right. Yep. that gives you that penetration and so forth. Where could you foresee that by using drones, eventually doing enough research and so forth, we can even reduce the amount of chemicals that we need to put down just because of the efficacy of the drone?
I truly believe that, and we're actually already seeing universities are testing, especially on insecticide application, where they can do a heavy concentration on border passes, allowing us not to have to spray entire fields. But I also think that you'll see, and we already have some countries that are approving lower application rates, all the way down to 4 liters, and they're getting effective use. And as we continue to grow, and as the industry continues to grow, I think we'll have our chemical companies support us more around the variable rate application, and I think the drones will be able to excel in that market. Today, I will tell you that drones are really designed for broad acres, just because of battery life. But as we continue to improve on battery life, I think that you'll see that variable rate application become, and I think it'll be key. I think that's going to make the biggest difference, because if you can save on chemicals and you can get better results, and the money is there for the farmer, and then the return on investment for a drone is going to be amazing.
It really then becomes a no-brainer at the end of the day in terms of just having that drone available. So how do you run the operations? Do you swarm them, or do you do one drone, one pilot? How does that work in your operation?
So legally in the States, we're not allowed to swarm yet.
Yes.
And so it is one drone, one pilot, and that was just approved this year. It used to be one drone, two pilots, and one to fly and one to watch. But in 2024, that was approved. I mean, you can get an exemption to have one drone, one pilot. So depending on the size of field, I mean, and I'm going to use acres because I've never been good with hectares.
Yeah.
So when you look at
sometimes too.
yes. So in my personal operation, we don't even get the second drone out of the trailer unless the field is above 40 hectares, and because the drones are so efficient that you don't need it. You're going to get the field done in an hour. I mean, or if you got two drones out, it doesn't save you that much time. And so we love that. It works great in bigger operations. Okay.
100%. Last thing that I want to know just is, so do you think we're finally at a space where, and especially with something like the P150 that was launched today, just that bigger payload, we're now at a space where if you can even spray 30 liters per hectare, then you're sitting with the battery and the liquid will run out almost at the same time. So the battery becomes your next limiting factor, not the payload anymore. But now at the stage where it can really compete with aeroplanes, self-propelled sprayers and so forth.
I do. And once we got over 10 gallons, we started seeing that efficiency level increase. And today when we start talking about 18 and a half gallons, I really think that what we will be able to do with the gallons, but also know that today we announced that we increased speed from 13.8 meters to second to 18 meters. That's 40 miles an hour. You're not running a ground rig, at 40 miles an hour.
No.
So the efficiency level on that drone, and I have not got to test it yet, in the aspect of what I can get done, because 40 miles an hour was just released today, and we're looking at 70 plus acres an hour.
Jeez, that's a game changer. But now on that same thing, because we're upping the technology so quickly, okay? And I know some people, they talk about drones like a drone has got a 2-year shelf life and then it's done. It's like a cell phone, blah, 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 blah. But now I hear the guys from XAG saying there's drones that's been running from 2017 or 2017. They're still running and they're still going, because as a farmer, I cannot invest in something that I need to throw away. I'm not wired that way. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
We're all like that.
And so when I look at XAG, am I then investing in an asset, or is this a consumable?
I believe it's an asset, and that is the biggest difference that I see with the XAG product over the competition, in the aspect of the motors, the pumps, and the way that the unit is designed. I do believe that you're going to have a much longer shelf life. I'm not going to tell you that you're not going to replace the drone after 2 years, because I have guys in the States that I have one gentleman right now that has over 18,000 acres on one drone in 1 year. And so he may be done.
He's not going to complain.
Yeah, no, he's not going to complain. But after 2 years, his drone, the parts can be replaced. There's not there's not that many parts. So he could continue to change out motors and different things, but our spray windows are small, so the reliability of the drone may not be as efficient as it is today. So he may take that drone and make it a backup drone and buy a new drone and continue to spray thousands of acres a year.
But the short and the long of it, it is something that I can invest in for the long term. If I don't want the newest technology and so forth, it will still serve the same purpose as my old tractor.
Yes, it all depends on, it's no different than your tractor in the aspect of how many acres that you're running it, how many hours that you're running it. The drones are the exact same way. I do believe that you can get much more than 2 years. I think it is a 3, 4, 5 year investment. And you'll get that return on investment, very quickly.
Awesome. And then also, just quickly, you guys have got your own YouTube channel, Everything Drones. If you want to know anything about an agri drone, am I correct?
Yes.
So then they can just go and visit Pegasus Robotics. Am I correct?
Correct. Yeah, come visit our channel. We have all types of videos. We're going to add a lot more, I mean, here in 2024 and as we move into 2025. Can't wait to get some of the 150 videos out for you guys.
Awesome. Josh, thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, so that's Josh from Pegasus Robotics. Okay, so we'll put a link to the YouTube channel also in the description here, and or just go visit the YouTube channel. If you're interested in a drone, get in contact with Nick, link on top or below as well, and yeah, we'll get them to contact you. This is from Farmspace. Until next time, cheers.